I'm sure you've seen reports that Imo State government is sacking a lot of workers.
Yes.
What is the figure? Some say 3,000. What's the actual figure?
No, we are not sacking workers. You see, let me also explain. By operation of the law, parastatals are entities created by law to render some special services in contradistinction to the normal public service. You understand? They are utility-based. Some of them are even supposed to make profit, like ITC, Water Board, etc. Right. But we find out that the legal regime that established these agencies and departments did create some structures that does not conduce to productivity and the service in the way we wanted it. So after the productivity audit, and over the years, they are run by boards. And when you can confirm that when you create an agency or department in government, government does not employ fresh staff. What government does is to second staff from the pool and give the board the power to appoint any person they want subject to approval of the government. Typical Nigerians, over the years, who have been saddled with a situation where various boards that come in will keep populating the place with their relations, aunties, etc. So the people we suspended, because when you go to the circular you are referring to now that is current, the last paragraph said every civil servant in the affected parastatals is hereby redeployed to their parent ministry. So who did we sack? We didn't sack any civil servant. It is those amorphous relations being brought on board by the various boards that over the years that it has now become a burden on public revenue. Every civil servant on secondment is hereby redeployed back to their parent ministry. So who did we sack? We sacked people that has no contractual relationship, and it's not even sacked, suspended, because these parastatals are going reorganization. They've been concessioned. And in the interim, you cannot belabor the concessionaire with unproductive labor. So government decided to suspend these amorphous workers pending the final takeover and reorganization of the agency. If the concessionaire decides that some of them have the experience they need, it's up to the concessionaire to employ them. But if they don't, those who are genuinely employed by the state, who is the liability of the state to severe them. So that's the situation.
They're going to be concessioned.
The agencies have been concessioned.
Already?
Yes. For instance, the Water Board. We had a situation prior to now where what we spend on salary and emolument to pay members of the Water Board for 1 month, that is what we use to give the a contractor who has rectified the Otamini water plant. In the last 4 years, no cup of tap water has run from any public tap. I want you to go to Urena and reconfirm what is the status. So under this present situation, where there's paucity of funds, government need to put its thinking cap and begin to find ways whereby we can use the available resources to deliver service to the Imo people. It's not only workers that are Imo people.
So since the concessioning are the taps running now in the Imo?
Yes, the taps, they are reticulating right now.
So how many people were suspended?
No, I don't. You need to take a look at the number. Well, I can say the parastatals that were affected, but the number of people, because we don't have a list of the people who are on secondment. When you subtract the people on secondment, you can now know the number of people affected. But like I told you, they are not people who are contractually employed by the state, because if you are a civil servant, you came on secondment and you are going back to your parent ministry.
But at the moment now, why is it that Labour there keep on protesting, saying that the government doesn't invite them for discussions and negotiations, especially including the medical workers as well?
Thank you very much. You know, one of the issues we have with Labour is that, contrary to the fact that we are not in Labour, and negotiations were ongoing, because at one weekend, I had the privilege of being invited by His Excellency to attend the meeting with Labour. At that meeting, we tabled our wage bill and the current capital receipts with IGR to Labour. Government informed them that we are seriously challenged and therefore proposing a pay cut. Or rather, but the government favored, instead of a pay cut, why don't we across the board, everybody, lose 10-15% on agreement, since we have decided to open and be transparent in our capital receipts and IGR. When resources improve, we can go back. Or in alternative, let us use the salary scale of Enugu State or Anambra State. Labour typically said, no, we can't concede to that there. But what we'll do is that let us form a joint committee of Labour and government. Consequent upon this, we agreed a 4-man committee of Labour and government was formed. That committee sat on Tuesday, the inaugural meeting. No, we did 2 meetings. Before the 3rd meeting, behold, National Labour pounced on us, came to Imo, agitated the workers, instigated the workers. That was why His Excellency was felt rightly embarrassed, because we had no issue. The negotiations have started.
He said that they came on a courtesy call.
No, you cannot do. If you come to a courtesy call to a state for Government Law, you go to the governor. You don't go and address the workers first. You don't go inside the workers. After inciting them, you now come and say you came to a courtesy call. It's a breach of protocol. It's not done that way. They came to intimidate the government and instigate the workers. But as it be that it may, we were not owing, because even as if it's courtesy call, if we want to do a courtesy call, you inform us, we invite you. But you don't come on your own. But the state government was forced to receive them.
Is the state owing medical workers?
No, the state is not owing medical workers. Which medical workers again? Where work that way?
Because we see protests. Medical workers say they're being kicked out because they allege that some of them have private practices which they say they can't substantiate.
No, we can substantiate that. We can substantiate that. You know.
So what happened?
It's when you don't overgeneralize. There are some conscientious workers. You must give it to them. But we have a station where, for instance, His Excellency unfortunately visited one general hospital on one fateful day. He saw a woman in distress. He called the doctors, they called the nurses, nobody was around. He was forced to put the woman in the state government medical ambulance and took the woman to FMC. Unfortunately, the following day, the woman gave up because of lack of early medical attention. It grieves His Excellency so much. The cases arrive where even a medical doctor who was given a query at the specialist hospital abandoned a pregnant woman on theater table. Some of them have behaved without conscience, but be that as it may, we are not at war with Labour on our own side, because when you look at the assistance of the governor, you will understand that he is somebody who is not going to take any steps that will put him in the bad light with workers, especially the downtrodden.
So what are you going to do now that there's protest, Labour not happy, workers saying, look, if you say you have no misunderstanding with them, but they don't understand it, what they understand is that, look, you're sacking them, and so they will keep protesting. What is the way forward? What are you going to do?
As I told you, that negotiation team is ongoing. I wonder why they say we are not negotiating. We are negotiating. I'm leading government delegation on that negotiation table. The negotiation is ongoing.
You know, before we go, I've been mom going through this document before me.
Yeah.
If you look at the document and you see that it doesn't really tally with what is happening, salaries, we're talking about salaries now, and if we're talking about December 2014 and till about September 2015 here, and someone has to tell you that he or she made a mistake to have written December 2014 to September 2015, he or she struck this out to put March 2015 to December 2015. It still doesn't make sense. If you look at it, if you make all the calculation from March, if you say this is March to December, we're talking about how many months now?
7 months.
We're talking about 7 months. And you look at what you have here. How do you explain this kind of mistake, that if you're the governor or this comes to your office and your staff makes a mistake like this to have gone to put this, is all written in caps? So what form of mistake will this mean? From the heading and as well from the month, everything is tabulated here. If this is a mistake, then those tabulated here shouldn't also be a mistake. Then if this is a mistake, then what I should be seeing here should also show me March, April, and not January of December of 2014. I think this logic is illogical.
This is a private document. This is a private document.
But it's a document that you wanted to show us
Yeah,
to
I'm
prove
showing you
to.
because that's the document I used to
It's
play.
private. Yeah, if it's a private document and your intention was to make us understand that truly what the workers are saying, some workers are saying in Imo State is incorrect, and even what Labour is also saying is incorrect, then you should have been able to give us the authentic document.
No, this is the authentic document which you used to pay. I've told you that the current president, you can verify from him. He had this story, and we brought this document, and I'm telling you on my honor. That's why I supervise this particular payment for water board.
Okay, you supervise
Yes, I
this.
say water board. That's why I'm particular about this. I supervise this. I told you the venue from where the payment was paid. I told you it's Imo Power Holding Office on Port Harcourt Road, opposite NDG's office. So it's not
A very
beyond
quick,
document.
a very
You have my
quick
honor.
one. Very, very quickly.
Yes,
How many months did you pay the workers?
I think that for the water board, I think it was about 5 months or thereafter.
5 months is what you
Yes,
paid.
yeah.
But that document says about 10 months.
I say about. I'm not. I didn't.
Okay.
So are you going back to negotiating table with the workers?
The negotiation is ongoing unless they refuse to come. But I don't see any reason why they will not be available.
All right, Emma is the Special Assistant Technical to Imo State Government. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll be back in a moment. Don't go away. Some calls to be made. Join us again.